Welcome to another episode of How Did You Get There? A show where we are critical of thoughts, ideas, opinions, and beliefs, and not necessarily the people that hold them. The claims and beliefs we evaluate are definitely open for discussion, and that's why we're here. Oh, come on in! Come on in!
Did we turn off the radio?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes, I was reminded to turn off the radio. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please send them our way. You can even reach me on the Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, at HDYGTYQL.
Yay!
How did you get there, Lethbridge? The airport, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, today, I would like to talk about a statement that a certain billionaire made that said, "You are the media.
You are the children."
and it struck me oddly that everybody with a cell phone should be held that responsible, or that everybody with a cell phone is already that responsible as to provide quality journalism. He's also followed this up with advertising that his app is the #1 news app, which I find alarming because when I look under apps under news, X is not available. So it just wondered how he aggregated that score.
Yeah, so I had some thoughts about this particular concept of "you are the media," and I'm going to specifically pick on the people who complain that the CBC is biased.
Okay.
And so, when I see a post on some social media platform from the CBC promoting a news article or even an opinion piece, it doesn't really matter. And one of the early comments is, "Hey, defund the CBC, you are terrible and biased." If we are the media, and your complaint is about biased media, and your complaint is specifically directed against a particular media source, are you also not biased media, and you should also be deplatformed?
Ooh. But in fairness to the commenter, in this situation that I have seen, defund is different than deplatform.
Oh, except that they don't want to defund the CBC.
They want it gone.
They want it gone. If you defund, I believe that the thinking is, if we didn't fund a national broadcaster, it would cease to exist. The essence of defunding a state-funded thing is to deplatform that thing.
Got it.
Right? It would be disingenuous to say that, oh, just because we're taking away their money doesn't mean we're taking away their ability to say things. That is disingenuous.
We're taking away the money in the hopes that they can not afford to say things.
We would rather that this biased state-sponsored entity was funded by private interests who have their own agenda that we agree with. We think.
We don't really know.
Yeah, I am more inclined to trust a media organization that is funded by a democratic enough government over a privately funded media empire, because at least the nominally democratically organized government organization is representing more of us, and not for profit. It's not about making the money, it's about sharing information. I understand that there is a slippery slope of editorial intent, that if the government that funds it also controls the editorial board, that it becomes just state-sponsored media. And I think there's a meaningful difference between state-sponsored media and publicly funded media.
I agree, 100%.
Right, and it gets much worse for what we consume when the thing that drives the continued production of that medium is one person or one organization's personal gain. And I claim that it is actually not worse to have post media than it is to have myself doing a thing. Me going out there and just saying what I want to say because I think that's the way the world should be is exactly as bad, especially if I'm monetized for it, exactly as bad as post media going out and saying, or Fox News, or pick your poison. If we're going out there and saying it for our own personal gain or for a particular gain, I think it's probably terrible. And it's true that we are the media.
And that's right. I feel like there's like such a.
I didn't mean to put 14 things in there.
No. Like a blurry line between citizen journalist and sovereign citizen. Like, to me, there's just such a blurry line.
Well, sovereign citizen has some other kinds of connotations that I find somewhat distasteful.
But I feel like they're both going to try and use that label to avoid some sort of recompense from the law. So,
yeah. So I will bring up. So I don't want to sound like a fanboy here, but I think that Nate Pike, who I will claim is a journalist. That's my label for him, not his label for him, as he has clearly pointed out.
He's a paramedic. By his admission, his occupation is paramedic.
Yes, but he does journal. He has a blog, and he periodically, almost daily, journée, tracks some things that are going on. He journals what is happening in Alberta politics. By the definition of journalist, he is a journalist. But we have seconded the term journalism to mean news portrayer. And that's not what a journalist is. A journalist is journalism and news aren't the same thing. They are different things.
You could be a journalist of news.
You could be.
Like Nate Pike is a good example. There's something new from the government pretty much daily.
Yep.
And he records and reports.
Brilliant. And he has opinions. And that is fine. Yeah, journalist and reporter are not the same thing. A reporter says, this is what happened. A journalist says, today this happened, today this happened, today this happened. Here is the story as it goes on. I am journaling. I am chronicling.
You could
like a
go
journal.
back, if you want to know what's been going on in the Alberta government, other than
For
the slap suit era.
2 weeks in that slap suit. And the suit is still going on. It's still ongoing.
Yeah. It's just,
So anything that I claim that Nate Pike is saying, I'm saying that Nate Pike is alleging anything. If anything, mostly he is just journaling and he's diarizing.
I don't think he does add. Nothing that he actually reports is editorialized. He adds his opinion to the journal.
Yep.
But it is not reported as fact.
Yeah. Reporting should be neutral and factual.
As best as we can with the language we have.
As best we can. Journaling permits some editorializing.
But like he's really good about hardly not, right?
Well, and yeah, exactly.
Other than the setup of a good sales pitch, right? But did you want to know what happens next, right? Which to me is a bit of a ooh, guess what? Kind of a ooh, build excitement in your story reading.
Hey, come see my next story.
Yeah.
Right, and that's fine too. I mean, I'm not saying that Nate is doing this as a business. I'm pretty certain that, all told, Nate is not making a ton of money.
No.
Doing this, but I think it's important enough to him to keep doing it. Does he get some kickback because he's a
blue check?
A blue check mark? Sure.
Do they? I don't even know. I didn't even look.
I think they do. Every time I open up the Bird app, sorry, the X.
My X.
Every time I look into my X, like one of the top 3 things that I see is get $14,000 worth of free advertising to sign up as a business. I'm like, how badly do you want my $8?
Right? Like $8.
I'm like, I'm prepared almost to start a business once a week and burn through $14,000 of their advertising dollars once a week to advertise that the platform is terrible and should be taken down. Because I could. I guess.
Because it only costs $8 a month.
Yeah.
You could be a sole proprietorship. You wouldn't actually have to incorporate it, I don't think.
Absolutely would incorporate, however.
Oh yeah, liability.
Liability. Yes, I will actually I would actually make a company.
Just pull one off the shelf. And then $1,500.
I would make a company, and I would buy a company off the shelf under it.
Yeah.
And the company that I buy off the shelf. So my company would shelter me from the company that I bought off the shelf, just in case it actually had some nastiness in it. And yeah. Because, and then I could say what I wanted online because I am the media.
Well, that's sort of the thing. Like, we have recourse against established media. There are separate laws that govern broadcasting. Canada's pretty good with its broadcasting regulation. I don't think I didn't snoop around the globe to decide who's got the worst in terms of broadcasting standards. Like what is public media allowed to say? And then also I'm old school. I think the broadcaster of the news has chosen to let that news go out.
Yeah, it's weird broadcasting.
Because broadcasting regulations versus news outlet. Like, so
we wouldn't have broadcasting if we didn't have agriculture.
Probably is a word. That's true. I mean,
like literally, that's why we have broadcasting. So when you're spreading something, you would just pass it on just. But then this new way of broadcasting seed is the way that we now broadcast news, right? It used to be, oh well, Jimmy down at the bar told me. And honestly, Jimmy down at the bar still tells me stuff. Right? That is narrowcasting.
That's a weird.
But they are the media.
But if you're at the bar and you're talking to Bob at the bar, and Bob says something, you can just look at Bob and go, bullshit, Bob. Or, yeah, Bob, I agree.
Oh, I say that to my Twitter too.
Yeah, true.
Bullshit, Twitter.
But
thank you, Rachel Maddow. Sorry.
Oh my God. It's MTG, the Angry Polar Bear face. Sorry. There's some brilliant stuff on there. The baby chimp is adorable.
You're supposed to call him Mr. President.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. And that's another thing. Like, I feel like if I was relying on just X as my media source, I would not be aware of, for example, most of the major soccer teams in Argentina supporting all of the seniors in Argentina fighting for their social security with riots and cars burning and stuff. But like, I feel like I'm the only one that posted that on all of Twitter because I pulled it from a different news source and put it on the Twitter.
I'd actually seen it on Twitter from somewhere else. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited because, oh my God, the current leader of Argentina has very much the same economic outlook as his counterparts in the United States. But in the Wayback Machine, he's a year ahead of them.
Oh, yeah.
A year and a half. And so when people are like, what's going to happen? There's a test case going on right now. And again, this is just me giving my news. This is what I've regurgitating what I've seen. I feel like I should be responsible in this stuff. I know I'm part of the media. At least here. I feel like I'm part of the media.
Hey, welcome to the media.
And I should try to be responsible to present the clearest case I can.
Right. So we have set this show up as an opinion show. Right? We have clearly stated.
Facts, ideas, opinions, beliefs. They're ours. Criticize us, please. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that we say that we're necessarily right, although quite often we start from a position where we believe we are right. And by right, I just mean correct, not right as in right and wrong, but
we are acting engaged faithfully with the best current evidence.
Yeah. You know, we believe that we are correct in the thing we're saying.
Yeah.
But we're also recognizing that we could be mistaken.
Yeah.
And that happens, right? And like any news, any good purveyor of current affairs, I just realized like 30 seconds ago that news is a word I don't want to use.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I don't know how to break it out of my
current affairs works well.
Yes,
it's like state affairs.
Purveyors of current affairs. If they are mistaken, they are frequently legally obliged, occasionally contractually obliged, and generally socially obliged to correct their mistakes when pointed out.
I notice this even on YouTube, where I believe each and every channel has such an obligation. Any YouTube presenter, I believe, carries the same obligation as CBC, as Fox, as I believe they all carry the obligation. Whether they fulfill that obligation is totally separate. But I think they all carry that obligation, and then that's somewhat how I engage with those channels. If I see the mistake, someone has already pointed out the mistake because I'm never first on the video watch. How do they handle? How do they handle the clarification? How do they handle the, hey, guess what, dude? You're kind of, this is the thing that you said, this is why it's wrong. Here's the citations, right? Like community notes, but does somebody make, and when they are like, I am so embarrassed, or oh, you were right, good clarification, or
one of my favorite acknowledgments of a mistake on the air in a recording was Matt Parker and his Parker Square.
Oh,
so this is nothing to do with news really, but more about acknowledge. But it's media, but it's not news. It's not even current events. So you've heard of a magic square.
Yes.
Where all the directions add up. The diagonals and the vertical and horizontals each add up to the same number. Mm-hmm. He proposed that there could be a 3x3 square where the squares of the numbers in each of the adds up to the same thing. Oof. And then he proceeded in his video to make one, and it did, but he duplicated the numbers, which the math community went, Parker Square.
Yeah.
And he jokes about it, but he's made many other, and he went, yeah, so in a previous video, I said this thing, and I did this dumb thing. Mm-hmm. I get that this is a dumb thing. I get that. But then he went on to say, and what I learned from that was, and here's some more stuff about the larger the square, the easier it is because there's more degrees of freedom and so on and so on. So even though, as a media presenter who presents himself as an expert on the topic of mathematics, when an error mistake was pointed out, he said, yep, you're right. That's wrong. And here's what I have learned from that, and here is some more information. Like, if every person who got called out on bullshit went, oh yeah, you're right. But I've learned more, and here's what else we can take away from that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then the bonus lesson, the underlay is accepting the responsibility, making the clarification. I know.
Where's my free speech?
Yeah.
I want to be able to say stuff and be free of the consequences.
And that's the slippery slope of the blanket censorship. I'm really against censorship. It's a thing that makes me a little bit mental. However,
I used to. We have a mutual friend.
We have a mutual acquaintance.
Fair. I mean, we might be friends, but he's a Flames fan. Mm-hmm. I may not like what you say, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it.
I don't agree with what you say, but I'll fight you for your right to be wrong every time.
Which is more what he means. Sorry, buddy.
He knows, Burner.
Yep. But that's, and I used to be in the camp of, I may disagree, but I will fight to the death for your right to say your stupid shit. Mm-hmm. I am not that person anymore.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that. As teased out by a potential guest we could anytime have, I'm sure. Right?
That one?
Yeah. So, I mean...
Mr. Rhymeswith?
Yes. Well, yes.
Well, so we're going to have that conversation off air again.
Well, no. But this makes for a fine example where...
I knew this was going to come up as an example of conversation.
I totally didn't.
I absolutely did. I saw it coming.
But that's... I don't... So, again, you
without naming names,
you can state your opinion, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so. That's the free speech that you are entitled to, is your opinion. Attempting to subvert facts, I don't think should be covered. Right? We all want to guide people to look at the facts we want them to look at. But when we get people to look at things that aren't facts and tell them they're facts, then that's problematic, right?
Look at this lie that I claim is a fact. I feel that is out of bounds.
Right?
I feel the gray area lives in the lies, damn lies, and statistics. Mm-hmm. Well, do you realize that 1 in 3 Albertans want such and such, or want tabulate? 1 in 3 Albertans would prefer that we hand count our ballots because it's more secure.
I know,
1 in 3.
I know, that's 30%.
Look to your left, look to your right. one of those people, if it's not you, one of those people wants that. Right.
But
But if you say it's only, but if you say 2/3 of the province would rather that we use mechanical tabulators because they're faster and more reliable, our minister of
education,
the municipalities,
oh yeah,
Rick McIver said,
yeah.
when asked by Lethbridge City Council,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we have a first past the post on 8, and we have nominally 40,000 people voting. Counting those by hand takes about 30 seconds per ballot.
Mm-hmm.
It will be 4 days or 5 days if we count them by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the minister said, yes, but 1 in 3 Albertans doesn't trust tabulators.
2 out of 3 do. Yeah.
But he didn't say that. He didn't say a minority of Albertans. He said 1 in 3, which sounds like a lot.
Oh yeah. It's like 34% of Canadians would vote for Pierre Poilievre. Great.
That does mean that
67%.
67 and 66% would not.
Right? Like,
And that is every time they say, well, 34% of Canadians, and I'm like, yep, but that means
66%.
you don't have a majority of the Canadians. You have a simple majority.
Mm-hmm. Within, yeah.
Yeah, but the full majority is overwhelmingly not you.
Maybe a different day topic for sure. A different day topic is the flaw of the two-party system. Anyway,
Right. So yeah,
I have niches within each thing, and that's what's got me a little off.
Yeah. So to pull that back to where you were going, yeah, you can say the thing. Like, I believe that Lower Slobovians were unfairly moved from Lower Slobovia so that the Upper Slobovians could have the entire of Slobovia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, that simply did not happen.
No.
Or even if it did, it didn't happen in the way that I'm saying. And also, there is no place called Slobovia. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I told you what happened to the Lower Slobovians in the last great Slobovian uprising, you would be outraged.
You should be outraged.
And you would...
The atrocities.
You would help me fundraise for the poor Lower Slobovian children who've been forced to not live at their home, but rather in camps.
And not just that, that there are very few countries willing to take in the refugees.
Yeah, there's virtually no country in the world will take in the Lower Slobovian refugees, which is absolutely true.
Yep. Yeah.
Please send money to my GoFundMe.
That goes to, I believe, Church of the Immaculate Tax Deduction, care of. Sorry.
Right. So, I mean, it's a good story.
That's another one. So there's a good one. This came up. Outrage at the killing of Christians in Syria.
Which time?
Oh, just most recently. Just
okay,
in the last couple weeks.
Just the recent ones. Okay.
Yep.
Not like over the last 1,000 years.
Or yeah. But the fact that Christianity persists is wonderful in that essence.
Good for you, Christians. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I mean, believe what you believe.
Why are they fighting? Anyway.
But like 1,100 Christians were killed in Syria in the last month.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. It's like 1% of the casualties of the last month, but it is the portion of the casualties that received the news.
Ooh.
Right? So that's like because
yeah, I guess
it's the same as the miracle claim. I love the miracle claim where this like train goes off the rails and everybody but the one baby dies and everyone's like, it's a miracle that baby lived. It's sad that everybody else freaking died. Like, report the whole story. Like,
but so this is I think that this is one of the things that we fail to recognize about the curatorship of event reporting.
further to the Syria thing, just to add to the flavor of what goes on. Those Christians were murdered. Other people in Syria have been killed.
I will claim gently, in defense of the English language, that those two things are categorically different versions of the same thing.
Yes. Yes.
As a matter of fact, one is, I will say that murdered is a subset of killed.
Yes.
Like, if you were murdered, you were killed.
Yes. I agree. Linguistically,
If you
murder just means illegally killed.
Yeah. Murder is unsanctioned killing.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yep,
I saw something recently. Disclaimer, I did not check the veracity of the original claim, but I did giggle at the ridiculosity. And yes, I've just portmanteaued that word.
Yay.
Apparently in the great state of Texas, great state of Texas, Texas lawmakers are considering the death penalty for people who perform abortions.
Nothing says pro-life like the death penalty.
And I'm pretty certain that any irony there is lost.
100%.
Right? Now, again, I've said this thing because I read this thing, but I also fully admit I did not fact check whether lawmakers are actually considering that. Given other news from that particular area, I am reasonably confident that this is not out of scope. Like, this is...
It's not... Yeah. That's definitely in the frame of a thing they might do.
It is not beyond the realm of possibility. Right? And so I'm not claiming that this is a thing that's happening. I'm claiming this is an interesting way to frame this argument that don't be a terrible human. Killing is killing.
Killing is killing, but
are you against killing?
Yeah. Like,
I'm in.
Abortion is murder. See, now there it is, and that's the thing, right? They want to make it illegal so that abortion is murder. So and it's only the weird King James version that actually says "Thou shalt not kill." All other translations say "Thou shalt not murder." So that's how the reporting can be different on the situation.
You know, I would really like to sit down with someone like a Dan McClellan to talk a little bit about that sort of thing. It just seems like we may not agree theologically.
No, I probably don't.
But I agree with his methods, and I agree.
I like his methods.
I believe
his scholarship is very.
And
good.
I believe he is an excellent scholar and a good explainer of the scholarship.
Which is great. Kip Davis the same way.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we are halfway through. How did you get there?
Wicked.
How did we get here?
How did we get here? That was a pretty quick half hour for me.
Yeah.
And my brain is just going in overdrive, trying to just not be the ridiculous example of the thing I'm against.
And yet I'm trying to be the ridiculous example because so we're doing the role reversal thing today.
Yeah, I'm the calm stable one today. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're calm and stable, and I am just trying
terrible.
to trying to be.
Terrible.
Yeah, I should. Full disclosure, maybe shouldn't have had 3 beers for breakfast.
All right. I didn't wake and bake, so yeah, that's totally on you.
Yeah. I mean, I had eggs and bacon and sausage and hash browns and
so high protein breakfast for
and lettuce.
And a lettuce.
There was salad on my plate.
No, a lettuce is not salad.
There was actually a bunch of red lettuce with a little bit of tomato and some dressing.
Nice.
I claim salad.
Fair.
And toast and fruit leather. Some of it was jam, some of it was fruit leather. Oh no, it was like it was worse than that.
I don't even want to know that.
I peeled the lid off and I went
nice
into the.
Did we leave that under the heat lamp too long?
I'm pretty certain it's since the ownership changed, that particular packet has not left the building.
It finally hit the bottom of the case. First in, first out. Oh my god. Okay.
Bless your hearts. Please fix this problem. My solution is every time I get any of those, I can usually identify from the packets. I will just open them all. Then you have to throw them away. And then nobody else has to suffer through that. I wish we could do that with news.
Ooh.
Like when somebody pulls out a stale piece of news, we just grab all of your news and go, yep, nope, yep, nope, nope. And then it's all out. And then you can start again fresh.
I have caught people even on... So of the I'm going to just assume from now on, everyone I engage with on any social media platform is a journalist, and I should hold them just as accountable.
Yes, absolutely. Because we are the media.
We are the media. Part of this is me dealing with this situation, right? These shows aren't just for you guys. It's me trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah, this is never about you. Sorry. If you feel this is about you, then this is about you.
We're totally, yes.
If you feel this is, that we are weird, then just know that this is about us.
Yeah.
Both things can be true.
Both things could be false, but probably aren't. It's probably about us, and we want to share a little bit. It gives us a place to hide from our families and talk about things.
We are the world. We are the media.
But I can, absolutely sue Sun Media for... libel, and then
libel.
They're the printed ones, right?
Yeah, libel. Yes.
So then, why can't I be for the exact same thing?
You can. Hey, happened to Nate Pike.
There we go. So
not justly so, I don't feel.
No.
But maybe a court of law will.
I hope a court of law looked at the facts. I think that might be a bonus with our unelected officials, but also a drawback with our appointed officials.
Yeah.
Two governments down the road, your appointed official means less.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with appointments.
Mm-hmm.
They're fine, especially if they're well considered. They can be fine.
There's a trend in the media about a merit-based system. And I think I have a good example of leadership model that you need to go through steps and earn merit at a lower step before you can move up.
Boy Scouts?
I got a better example. So in China, before you can even consider running to be the leader of the nation, you must have been the leader of one of their provinces or states. So you would already have executive experience.
Cool.
It's yeah. And then, so from all of those states, they base it on how did that state perform? And then they look at the top, 6 candidates from that. And then they say, okay, let's vote. And here's their track record with executive authority.
If we wanted to go to a direct vote for leadership of our country,
mm-hmm.
which I don't think we should do.
No, it's too big and weird.
But if we were to do that, we would look at the track record of...
the only candidates available would then be our premiers and territorial leaders, and we would look at their track records.
Cool. So there would be a good chance that sometime in the near future we could get Wab Kinew as the supreme leader of Canada.
He's got a 1 in 12 chance of making that happen.
He has a higher than 1 in 12 chance because his track record is so much better on so many more important metrics.
But that's so. I mean, but according to the media, that's not what they mean. Apparently, they don't think the Chinese model's good.
Oh,
China bad.
They mean the model where if you made more money, mm-hmm. you're obviously better at running a country,
mm-hmm.
because countries are for profit,
mm-hmm.
shareholder driven, quarterly results based.
Exactly.
So,
not that I want to be China.
I did not really.
Cool.
Apparently, I missed this bit in 12 years of schooling. Plus a little bit of voluntary schooling in political science. I didn't realize that we were a shareholder-based, quarterly results-driven, for-profit country.
Yeah, weird, hey?
Weird.
I don't know any actual
I
country
missed
that's
that?
established that way. Perhaps Singapore.
Maybe Singapore. I don't know.
Maybe the Cayman Islands. They don't seem to have any other resource than
Maybe Switzerland.
billionaire hoarding. No, they make nice clocks.
They do. They're like that. I mean, just because you are profit driven and quarterly results based, doesn't mean you can't have subsidiaries.
Exactly.
Like conceptually subsidiaries.
Yeah.
Like successful industry in our country, like banking and clockmaking and knives and army, makes us a successful country. Right? The parent corporation is very successful because all its subsidiaries do reasonably well. Cool.
They do lease their army.
Yep.
The Vatican rents it.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, we could probably be leasing our army, or we could have, and we could again. Because from time to time, we have had some of the best army.
We typically have some of the best trained.
Yep. And which is good, and we could be doing that thing.
Go to train other NATO countries.
Yeah. We should not be. Yeah, I have lots of.
I
have lots of NATO feelings at the moment.
Flavors of the week that way. So in the news, right? So like, anytime I say something here now, and maybe we could start looking at this because I was throwing this idea at you a little bit. We're the news. We're reporters. We're media. We suddenly, when someone says, "Why would you listen to that guy? He's from Hollywood." No. He's the media. Hey, why would you listen to that guy? He's a failed rock star. No.
No, he's the media.
He's the media. So like,
how am I, the lowly consumer, to live my life with this barrage of information? What am I to do as a consumer of this barrage of information? Do I have to think critically?
That would be one of the best choices you could make, I think, in that circumstance.
Or is there a way that I could just like tune out stuff that I don't want to think about and just like live in a bubble? Could I do that too?
You could do that. There are some that do that. There are some that willfully ignore the evidence presented so that they may remain in that bubble.
No.
Okay.
I disrespectfully disagree with that.
That's right, yeah. If I'm being honest, what, you were lying before? Yeah.
Yep.
To tell you the
so
truth.
Ben Shapiro is the news?
Yes.
Ouch.
I always thought he was canary in the coal mine. I honestly thought
canaries don't wear yarmulkes.
Yes, right? Or it works as the like H2S detector covering that canary's face because.
Why are you wearing a mask on the top of your head? So you don't breathe God stuff?
They're there.
My apologies if that was religiously offensive to some. But you know, probably lighten up.
It's not. Yeah. So that's a problem I also have being part of the media presence. I grew up in an era called I call it the Sticks and Stones era.
Will they break your bones?
They will, but names will never hurt me.
I've never broken a bone on a stick or a stone either, so...
I've never broken a bone, I feel you there. But I'm pretty sure that would hurt.
Absolutely,
Having had lesser injuries and they hurt.
Yep.
I guess I've had small minor fractures.
Yep.
Nothing they could, like, definitely...
Nothing the Staples didn't fix.
That's right. Staples, stitches, and new But that's the... I just don't even...
Say the thing, fine. It's just words. I understand that an overwhelming bunch of, like, oh, rain, it's just a couple of drops of water, right? The sticks and stones argument is fine to a certain degree.
Oh, yeah. But once you have a flood...
once you have a flood, you have a flood.
Yeah.
And so...
two more drops will be a problem.
It would be better to manage the rain early than to wait for it to become a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So by us, the media, gently moderating ourselves to not create floods, to not say things that are unnecessarily inflammatory,
to be able to suffer the slings and arrows,
but also to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Right? Like, if somebody calls me an idiot,
okay,
you
know what, It does
I'm
bug
rubber,
me.
you're glue.
Yeah. But like, and if you become offensive to me in that way, like you're just not listening to my side of the argument.
Yeah, I recognize that I grew up in a house. We grew up in a house.
We did. It was very nice.
Yeah, it was lovely, and that sets us apart from some other people who did not grow up in houses. Not positively or negatively, just apart. But the house that we grew up in encouraged us to argue and take the opposite side. Take an opinion with which we were not on board with.
Like the easiest example of that, honestly, is Mom. What do you think about God? She would reply, "What day of the week is it?"
Yep.
Because on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, she was an atheist, and then on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, she was a theist, and on Sunday, she just went to church.
Yep.
Yep.
Except for every second Thursday when she was Jewish.
That's right.
It's like, or whatever, right?
But like, so when people say things like, "Well, do you understand what I'm saying?" and I say yes, then how come you don't agree? Well, just like, my understanding of your statement is not an acknowledgement that your statement is correct.
Do you understand that I think that eating tripe is the worst idea in the world?
I do understand that.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree.
But others will not agree.
Others
How?
believe it
But
is
you understand, but you don't agree? How can that?
How can we look at this exact same piece of evidence and come at different conclusions?
Because they may be different conclusions about something else. Like it's a conclusion about tripe, but it's a conclusion about what I like about tripe, about things that affect me with regards to tripe, and things that affect you with regards to tripe. And those can be different despite the tripe being objectively the same thing.
The seafood soups I make are delicious. I don't think they are. You know why? They taste like seafood.
You don't like them. It doesn't mean that they're bad.
Right.
You understand how to make cream of mushroom soup.
I do. I make
you probably could, if you were driven to, make cream of mushroom. I make a mad cream of mushroom soup. It's brilliant. You would hate it.
Yes, because
you'd not necessarily hate
I would
it,
appreciate
but you'd appreciate the soup qualities.
But the flavor would just be.
You might even appreciate the craftsmanship.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it won't be something you enjoy.
No.
And those are definitely opinion-based things.
So
and we are entitled to have different opinions.
I understand the soup is good. I just don't think it is.
That's me and most Hefeweizens. Like I have consumed many different styles of beer, and there are some styles of beer I do not like. I can describe to you exactly what it's supposed to taste like. I can taste one and go, "Yep, this is an excellent example of this style." And I really don't want more of it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right? But there are some things in this world that we can't do that about. I'm going to say gravity, for example.
That was going to be... Oh, we've got a bit of time left. The same sort of thing where in this media era, we set things up... To me, a debate is two basically equal positions that are trying to share space, and we're trying to negotiate where that space can be shared. But then I hear the flat earth debate. And to me, globe earth and flat earth aren't close. They aren't. And so I don't believe it's a debate. Like, it's not... Like, someone's position probably won't change in the discourse of flat earth. There are two people that took on the flat final experiment. Good for those two guys. They went to Antarctica and went, okay, round Earth.
You're right. We were wrong about this part.
Yep. So
I'm going to say alchemy.
Yeah.
To my mind, flat Earth is alchemy.
Okay.
Right. Not. I mean, not a one for one.
There's probably people still doing alchemy.
Yeah, not one for one. I mean, the stated sort of the general friendly version of alchemy is we can make gold out of lead.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was more than that.
Yeah. But a nice.
But the dumbed down version is we can make gold out of lead.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you're going to make one metal out of another metal, lead to gold is actually pretty close to what you want to be doing.
Because they're really close.
However, it's not a thing we can practically do. It is something we can conceivably do now.
It's a thing that has been done.
And has been done.
It just is not cost effective.
Yeah.
It costs more to make it into gold than
and by
the value
cost
of the gold you
just
make.
but even by energy, never mind the dollars.
Oh yeah, no, just
Like,
straight up the energy spent.
Yeah. Right? But there is utility in the notion of alchemy. That we can take this thing and we'll try a bunch of ways, science, to accomplish this other goal. Right? There is utility in like maybe alchemy is not the right way to go, but there's utility in considering the Earth is flat and trying to still do the things that we do on a globe. There's utility there. I don't know what the utility is, but there must be. I'm going to say that the utility of flat Earth is really close to the utility of spherical cows. Right? If you want to calculate the trajectory and the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, or you want to load a cow into a catapult and figure out how far it's going to go, if you're an engineer, you just assume the cow is spherical. Cows are not spherical.
Not even close.
Not even close.
No.
But you know what? So much simpler to do most of the work and get most of the way by considering it's spherical. Honestly, in my day-to-day life, the Earth is flat.
Yes, I build my house level.
Like 100%. I am a flat earther on the very localist of scales. Like I like to keep, stuff on my table, for example.
Physics. Physics is a very fine example of this whole situation. I basically live in a classical physics world. I am aware that there is a whole quantum physics world out there. And that does have an effect on all of these other parts of physics that affect me.
And quantum physics explains classical physics.
It does. It does.
Spherical Earth explains flat Earth.
Yes, in a way, yes. But like, we don't need to know. It's nice to know.
Absolutely.
We should know. But we don't need to know how gravity works. We don't need to know in a quantum vacuum that things can come from nothing. They don't. They just appeared from somewhere else. They didn't actually from nothing. But anyway.
Yeah.
But things like quantum entanglement, does that actually matter? Because some lepton on the other side of the universe just went blah, and I suddenly went ugh, because it. Right?
Did it get lost from the end of its rainbow?
Yes.
Sorry.
That's
Hendrik.
There's a bunch of people standing on another one. It's a lepton.
Right. So, and we can give credence to all these viewpoints. We can give airtime to all these viewpoints, and that's good.
It
can be good.
It can be good.
It can be good, and it's not unfair. But I think there is great social utility to platforms with editors. Right? I could be, if I want to self-publish, that's fine. I am my own editor. Then it's on me.
Yep.
If I want to be on the X, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, Friendster, whatever, pick a platform. That platform should be the broadcaster, and I will gently claim has some editorial responsibility. Right? If you are the one making the money, if you are the one saying, here it is, and we live in a nominally capitalist society, very capitalist society. If you are the one making the money, you are responsible.
If I install a battery at work and dude's car blows up, my workplace is responsible.
Yep.
If because they pay, they reap the reward, as it were, in the capital and how it works. They've given me the place to work and have paid me for
and
service.
Even though they share some of that profit with you, paying you for your labor, they are still responsible.
Yes.
The contract is not with you. to install the battery. The contract is with the company to install the battery.
I just happen to be the designated person at that time that did that work.
If I go online on the X and I say Lower Slobovians do not deserve to live, they should have been eradicated the first time the Upper Slobovians.
I can't even believe we gave them a second chance, quite honest.
I cannot quantify the number of Lower Slobovians who were put to death by water torture. I cannot put a number to that.
No. Not
and
enough.
And it was definitely not enough. But it was zero or more.
But like,
and I say this on a public forum like the X or the Facebook or the YouTube or the Jess FM.
Which is all of the above.
Tune in on all the platforms. Maybe not at once because you'll be. And I'm inciting hatred against Lower Slobovians. And I'm being recompensed because I have a little fuchsia check mark. Who is responsible for that content? If I am being paid as a contributor, and you are making the lion's share of the money for me saying these things, who is responsible for that hatred?
What a great case example. I remember a certain platform holder suggesting he would pay the legal fees of people that had their free voice suppressed.
I do recall that.
And then I wondered if people that have blue check marks are covered by this policy. Like, I am not a blue check mark person, so I don't feel that he's necessarily, I mean, he is making money off my being there, but not off the statements I make.
Right.
He is making money off the blue checkmark people.
A weird thing just happened on the Facebook. Our watchership suddenly went from 8 to 2.
Weird.
Like,
we must be near the end.
Or I said something.
Oh, people don't like Lower Slobovians. They love Lower Slobovians. I apologize to my deepest and dearest.
They left the platform to fact check me on Lower Slobovia. Because we are the media, and we deserve to be fact-checked. Please fact-check us live.
Like,
I didn't wear a plus sign today.
No, I didn't wear. I'm not selling pillows. I do want to wear a big ungodly A, though. Just like, literally and metaphorically.
Right, and you should be allowed to, right?
I am allowed to.
Like everywhere.
But I don't necessarily want to put up with the rebuke, right? Like, it is the intent of wearing it to get rebuked so that I may backfire at them. Hey, you think blah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't do because
it's just not worth it.
I don't
need to explain my actions to somebody on that level.
I will very vocally express my disappointment in Lethbridge City Council failing to consistently uphold its own laws. And I will loudly and vocally, publicly,
like a good media presence should,
sometimes to the detriment of friendships, suggest that everybody else should also be equally outraged. And I will say this online and in person everywhere I go. Why? Because I want you to engage with me about this. I want you to think critically about it. Right? I am agnostic with regards to the existence of a god or gods. I'd say we can't know, and so we have to come at it some other way. I don't do a lot of that online. I don't do a lot of that in person, unless somebody else brings it up first, because then I spend a whole lot of time having to spend a whole lot of time just saying, no, I'm not being wishy-washy. I have a very strong opinion here. I'm not like a default atheist. I'm not that. Right? Like, there's a whole bunch of things that are entailed in what I say that I just don't want to have to deal with. Like, I don't wander around going, I'm agnostic.
Yeah.
I love math, with the big plus sign on your
It all adds up.
I love triangles.
So that actually brings in another thing in our media online presence as we wind down our last 10 seconds.
We almost have a whole minute.
Oh, very good. The background. right? The things you wear, the persona you are while you make your media presence known.
Nice. I like that too.
This is actually from Scotland.
Yeah.
The doghouse was not so far from your house.
I know. It was great.
It had a cute, I think when the owner told me, anyway. So I wear a thing, and I think about these things before I come on because I know I'm on air.
Yep.
So when we wear pseudo-intellectual shirts, that's on purpose because it means a lot more than just what it says, but it also kind of means that, especially for me.
Yep.
But so the same applies. Is so when you're watching a news thing, part of the criticalness you need that we're encouraging you to have when engaging with media is turn the sound off for a minute and look at what they're giving you. Don't just listen to what they're telling you.
Yep. I am wearing somebody else's podcast merch. This is from Unis Anus. It was Markiplier and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. 1 year.
1 year. Oh, very good.
Yeah, and
that's right.
On
Yeah,
one
yeah,
sleeve,
yeah,
I got
yeah.
on one sleeve it says 365 days, and the other side says 0, because their entire channels, everything that they did, was only for a year. And,
that's right.
And then they shut it down live on the air. They were broadcasting and deleted their YouTube channel while they were still broadcasting on it. Like, it was just, and there's very little media left from that particular year because the point is, what happens on there should be ephemeral. Things change. These are fun things we do today. They may not matter in a year. If they still matter, they should matter in your head. You only have one life to live. And what if it was only 1 year? Do things that matter, right? So we say things that matter. And
at least to us.
To us, and you should say things that matter to you. We are the media. You are the media.
You are the media.
If you don't like what we say and you have something else to say, you should say it.
We're on Facebook. I'm on Twitter.
Yeah.
HDYTGYQL.
Yeah. Someday I might even get us a domain and a website and stuff.
That'd be wacky.
I know, it's be whack. And we encourage you to watch us again in a fortnight and other things on Jess TV in the meantime, because Jess is great, huge community builder. Thanks, Jess.
Because community matters.
We may not agree with what other presenters put on the air.
Doesn't matter.
But I don't care. You make your own opinions.
They're media too.
Be critical.
Enjoy.
And enjoy.
If you're a yoga person, this is the channel for you.
Yeah. if you like singing in the shower, this is the channel for you.
Yeah.
All right.
There's some good stuff.
So thanks again for tuning in.
Thanks, Jess.
I'm Steven. This is Jeff.
I am.
And we'll see you in a fortnight.